Hello everyone, and welcome to the 5th webinar in the TMSI Expert Talk series. My name is Rob Hartman, and I will be your host for today. A special welcome, of course, to our speaker of today, Ying Wang from the Radboud University in Nijmegen. Before we start with our talk, I have a few house rules to announce so we can keep the webinar clear for everyone. First of all, as an attendee, all your microphones are muted. So if you have any questions, you can put them in through the Q&A button, which you can find in the bottom center of your screen. And after the talk of Ying, I will go through the questions one by one, and if necessary, unmute your microphone so you can ask the question yourself to Ying. So that's everything concerning the house rules. Ying, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. Hello, everyone. So today I would like to give the topic about the multimodal physiological signal analysis for freezing of gait in Parkinson's disease. Okay. My name is Ying Wang. I'm a PhD student now in Radboud University and Technical University of Eindhoven and Kamahara Research Center. And firstly, I would like to give you some background information about this study. So this study is part of a larger project called BrainWave Project. And BrainWave Project is a project aiming at developing a 24/7 variable brainwave processing alarm platform. In short term, we call it a BrainWave chip. This chip is aimed for epilepsy and Parkinson's patients. This is a collaborative research project between the TU Eindhoven, Radboud University, and Kamahara Research Center. And my part is for the algorithm development for online seizure detections in epilepsy. So the seizure type is non-convulsive seizures, and the freezing of gait detection of predictions in Parkinson's disease. So firstly, I would like to talk about the freezing of gait itself. So what is freezing of gait? Freezing of gait is normally observed in the advanced stage of Parkinson's disease. It is defined as a brief episodic absence of marked reduction of forward progression of the feet despite the intention to work. So the feeling normally described by the patient themselves, they feel that their foot seems to glued to the floor. And exactly because of the sudden loss of the forward moving ability, the freezing of gait can really increase the risk to fall and also increase the fear of falling and even lead to bone fractures. Here, I would like to show you an example of freezing of gait during our experiment. And this subject's trying to turn, and then the freezing of gait start. Yes. So freezing of gait monitoring, especially in daily life for the online monitoring, is quite necessary because the freezing of gait is quite unpredictable. So therefore, it's very hard for doctors to really observe the real situation the patient experiencing in their daily life. So therefore, 24/7 monitoring can also assist the doctors for a precise diagnosis. And besides, there are some external cues like treatment to help them overcome freezing episode. However, if subjects continuously get these cues, for example, repeat to seeing the visual cues in front of them, then those cues will lose their efficiency. So therefore, the real-time monitoring systems can also help to active those external cues automatically when the freezing comes. And there are some previous research about freezing of gait analysis. So most researchers use the 3D gyroscopes or 3D accelerometers to investigate the motor functions related to freezing of gait. And also a group of researchers use electroencephalography signals to study the brain activities related to freezing of gait. For example, they found there are like increase of power spectrum within the theta wave band in the frontal and central area. And also there's some studies also found there's some increase of the heart rate during the freezing of gait, which also reflect the autonomic nervous systems. So freezing of gait is not only symptoms like we observed during like what I just showed in the videos. It's not only the motor signs. There's also some things from the autonomic nervous systems and also from the cognitive functions, like they are also associated. However, these previous studies now only investigated one modality of the characteristics related to freezing of gait. And so still rare studies integrated those characteristics because the freezing of gait is not only related to one aspect. So therefore, it's very important to give the overview, like the general pictures from the different systems or functions to help us know better freezing of gait. And besides, in the detections or predictions of freezing of gait, the performance is quite variable. It's mainly caused by the heterogeneity of patients themselves. And also the real-time monitoring is even real research previously. So therefore, the aim of our study is the general aim is to improve the accuracy and generalizability of real-time freezing of gait monitoring systems. So we have two sub-aims. One is to characterize the freezings using multimodal physiological signals. So therefore, we can have firstly have a general picture of the freezing itself. And then the second one is the development of the monitoring systems using those multimodal physiological signals. So now I would like to talk about our study design and our data site. We have two experiments. So the first experiment aimed at the good quality data with enough freezing epochs. So the first experiment, we ask subjects doing the in-place tasks. I will talk about more later. And the second experiment is to try to simulate the daily life conditions. So the subjects have the wireless equipment, so then they can walk around in the lab. So this is the details, things about the first experiment. And there are three conditions in this experiment: step in place, normal half turn, and rapid half turn. And for each condition, the subjects continuously did this each condition for 2 minutes. And in total, maximally 5 sessions can be done for each subject. And in this experiment, the subjects have the sensors like what I showing here in this figure. They have EEG cap for the 64-channel EEG cap, and the EOG for eye movement, and the ECG sensors for heart activities. And this EMG and accelerometers on the forearms is mainly to investigate the tremors, like whether the tremors related to freezing of gait or not. And also we have the accelerometers above knees and above ankles, which we want to also capture the symptoms, like the motor symptoms during freezing of gait. And then we also have the foot switches and to see whether there's some foot pattern changed related to freezing of gait. And this is the second experiment. And in this experiment, subjects can have the total variable devices. So here in these pictures, you can see these are all devices we have. And the subjects will do some tasks in these trajectories, where I show here on the left figure. And there will be some tabs. For example, they will do the rapid turns, and also for the trajectories, they will work at normal speed, or they work with a walking tray on hand, and also they will work with cognitive load tasks. And those tasks aim at to provoke freezing of gait during our experiment. And today I would like to mainly talk about the results and data site in the first experiment. In our first experiment, we have 15 subjects, and the mean age of subjects was 70 years, and the disease duration was 10 years, and the progress of Parkinson's disease of the subjects are quite variable. It's from the without impairment of balance to the severe disability, but still able to work independently. We have 2 independent raters, annotated phrasings based on the videos we taped in the experiment. And the total number of phrasings is over 700. And the durations of most phrasings is shorter than 10 seconds. And is from 1 second minimal to 2 minutes. And we also found the most effective way to provoke freezing of gait is rapid half and rapid full turn in place. And this is some statistics about the freezing of gait for each individuals. And the left one is duration ratio between the freezing of gait and the measurement. So you can see we have 15 subjects, and for example, the 12 subjects, he or she most got frozen during the whole experiment. And the right one is the freezing numbers for each subject. And some subjects, for example, the subject 15, he or she suffered many freezings, but with quite a short episodes. So it's quite, so indeed we have a quite heterogeneous data set. So now I would like to talk about the analysis for the physiological signals. Here I would like to state 4 modalities, the EOG for the eye movement, and the EEG, the power, we analyze the power spectrums within theta band, and the ECG is for heart rate, and the accelerometers is we calculated the freezing index, which is commonly used features to characterize freezing of gait. This is the ratio between the energy within freezing band and the energy within local motor band. And these features we captured during the turning tasks, because most of freezings were provoked during these tasks. So now I would like to just have a quick introduction about this eye movement analysis. Firstly, for the eye movement, we analyzed the saccadic, we characterized the saccadic. So for example, during our turning, normally our eyes firstly do the quick phase, which shift the eyes to the direction of our turning to help us get a well turn. And then the eye will automatically go back to the center again, which we call it a slow phase. This is also called vestibular ocular reflex. This kind of mechanisms is to help us keep stabilization during our turning. And in our analysis, we calculated the freezing, we calculated the quick phase amplitude, which is the amplitude of gait's shift from the middle to the direction here, to the direction of turn. And then we also calculated the center of beat, which is the average positions during the freezing, during the quick phase, and also the slow phase velocity, which is how fast our eye can go back to the center. And here, because the eye movement is really connected to the turning itself, so therefore we're trying to distinguish the movement itself, like the turning movement itself, and the freezing of gait itself. Therefore, we did the comparisons between the freezing of gait durations, between the segmentations related to freezing of gait and the normal turning. So here, for example, this is a blue bar and yellow bar, and the blue bar indicated the freezing episodes, and the yellow bars indicated the normal turning, but with the same locations during the turns. And we compared this freezing on-site time point with this same location same locations in the normal turning. So this result is reported here on the right-hand side. So the 0 point is the on-site of freezing of gait, and the blue one is indicated the signals around freezing of gait, and the yellow one is for the normal turning. And so these are the three characteristics during turning. And we can see here there's the slow phase velocity stop increase and also become drop like around the freezing onset and then during the freezing onset. But the quick phase amplitude and center of beat doesn't differ much. And besides, we also analyze the brain activities in theta bands because according to the previous research we are listed at the bottom, there's an increase in the central region of the brain, so which is over here in the theta band. And here, this is our results. The left one, we see some, okay, there's some increases, but if you see the whole pictures, we don't think there is a really remarkable increase happened over here. But still, we still need to figure out, like, for example, this like increase, which factors cause these increases. But unfortunately, we don't think this result really matched the previous research. So we still need to do more works to further investigate these findings. And besides, there's also previous research suggests the attention dysfunctions also appears in the Parkinson's disease. So therefore, we also analyzed the brain activities in the right parietal lobe, which is here. And this is our results. And we saw some slightly drop happened around the freezing onset, and like compared to the whole pictures, but still the fluctuations, we need to figure out whether it's affected by the movement artifacts. And this is a heart rate analysis. And we found there is an increase after the onset of freezing of gait, which is here. And and this findings actually is exactly matched to the previous findings. We're also listed here at the bottom of this slides. And we think this increase of heart rate is maybe caused by the anxieties of the patient during freezing of gait. There's some changes in the automatically neural systems. And also, we also did the analysis for the motion data. So here I listed two kinds of sensors results. One is above knees and one is above ankles, and those are from the accelerometers. Those two results share the similar trends. And this is this is a freezing index, so which is the ratio between the freezing band energy and the locomotor band energy. And we found there's some increase before the onset of freezing of gait. So here, what is happening here? So it may indicate the subjects have more tremblings before their feet get totally frozen to the floor. So there is also explained why after the freezing onset, this freezing index dropped here. So as a short summary for this multimodal signal analysis, we found the slow phase velocity in the eye movement decreased during freezing of gait. And for the brain activities, we found there's might be a slight drop in the theta band power in the right parietal lobe. And also for the heart activities, we found the increase of the heart rate during the freezing of gait, which matched the previous research. And also the freezing index increased before the freezing of gait onset and after and decreased during the freezing onset. During the freezing of gait. Okay, now I'd like to talk about our online freezing detection. So here, what I report here, we only use the three modalities with the EEG signals, so which is mainly the slow phase velocity, and also the EEG signals, which is theta wave power spectrum, of the EEG channels in the longitude montage. So where I show here in this this EEG locations, EEG electrode placement. And also we used the accelerometer signals, so where we extracted the freezing index features from those signals. So here, all the orange marked sensors are used in this detection analysis. And we used the correlation-based feature selection algorithms. And then we found the top 5 features for the detection of freezing of gait is firstly the EEG EEG channel signals, so which is like I also annotated here, the CP6 and P6, and the slow phase velocity and the freezing index above knee and the freezing index above ankles. So here about the EEG electrode, this is mainly for the right parietal lobe regions, so which we suspect is connected to the attention activities, but still we need more research, scientific research to figure it out. And in our detection systems, we fuse those features, and then we use a Raspberry classifier to classify the epochs like freezing or non-freezing. And we set if we can detect a freezing epoch like within 3 seconds before the freezing and including the freezing itself, then we say, okay, that is a detected freezing episode. And here is our current performance of the multimodal detection system. And we got the sensitivities around 90%, and also the specificity is also about 90%. The precision is 67%, but still we will also working on to increase this precision. And also we use the Matthew correlation coefficient, which is a measure for the general whole pictures of the performance, and this coefficient is 0.75. And this this work it's the preliminary work of this detection systems is already written in this accepted conference paper. Okay, so now I'd like to give the short conclusion and also our ongoing and future works. So in summary, so the multimodal analysis can give us a general picture of the freezing of gait itself. And also detection using those multimodal signals can help us have a better performances. And our ongoing work would be include other modalities, for example, include the heart activities in the detections, and also select the modalities based on the freezing mechanisms. Of course, we still need to investigate deeper about the like the findings of the modality signals are related to freezing of gait. And those work will be presented in our in preparation paper, like this is a paper title. Okay, this is our project team and also the collaborative organizations. And I would like to thank for your attention. Is there any questions?
Thank you very much, Ying, for your interesting presentation. Yes, there are already some questions, and I also have 1 or 2 myself, but I'll start with the questions from some of the attendees.
Yeah.
And if in the meantime other attendees have questions, please keep adding them to the Q&A button in the bottom center of your screen. So first one is from Luke Geilen. How important is the synchronicity of the multimodal signals? So would this research be possible if timing of signals are skewed for a few tenths of seconds, like when using a combination of signals in systems instead of a single signal acquisition device?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for your question. So the point is actually for the multimodal signals, oh, okay, I think it was better to go back to the slides. Like for example here, like this is only the heart rate signals, but you see it's just a start change maybe around here, but then there's would be more, I would say, remarkably increase happen during the freezing of gait. There will be other modality signals like changed before the heart rate signals. So therefore, if we combine, so for example, this freezing index. So if we combine those different modalities for the detection part, it will indeed help us have a more accurate results. And also for the scientific part, like because now more the mechanisms of freezing of gait maybe only based on, for example, the physiological signals only based on one single modality. But if we can combine them together, for example, if we know, okay, this part, the heart, the freezing index is increased before the onset of freezing of gait, and the heart rate happened later, then we may connect those functions together and then see, okay, whether there's some temporal changes and which come first and which come next, and whether there's some route between these different functions. I think that will be interesting in future.
Okay, good to know. So yeah, it's really important to have all the different parameters perfectly synchronized so that you know what happens before and after the freezing. Yeah, it's a clear answer, I think. Second question is from Leo Hogendoorn. Thank you for a nice presentation. Can you explain why with the accelerometers, the freezing band is higher than the locomotion band? Is that due to tremor on that moment?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for your question. For this part, because the freezing index is a ratio between the freezing band energy and the locomotor band, and the locomotor band indicates our normal motion pattern. So for example, when we work and then the stepping itself, there's some it would be between 0.5 to 3 hertz. And the freezing band normally is indicated the trembling during freezing of gait. So in the videos I showed at the very beginning, probably it's not very adverse, but the subject needs trying to shaking a bit during the freezing of gait. And this is exactly what the energy of within freezing of freezing band captured. So therefore, there's increased for this freezing index. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then there aren't any other open questions, but I still have a question. So you measured several parameters like 3D accelerometry and EMG of the arms. But why didn't you, is there a reason that you didn't include EMG of the legs, for example?
Oh yeah, it's a good question. I think it would be very interesting to including I'm trying to find the pictures over here. I think it's absolutely an interesting point to include the EMG sensors to capture the muscle activities, especially in the lower limbs. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, in our experiment, we didn't measure this. But I think it will be very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thought so too. But I thought maybe you had a reason to not include it. But it's.
No, we just didn't include it in the design of our study. So it's a bit pity. Yeah.
Yeah. Another question is actually more focused on the symptoms within Parkinson's disease, and then of course on freezing of gait. Is there any cause for the differences in short or long periods of freezing of gait and the quantity? Is that the duration of the sickness or of the Parkinson's disease, or the stage of the disease they're in? Or is it just random and depends on the subject?
Yeah, I think it would be depends on different subjects. For one subject, it would be always, like what I showed, the bar plot for different individuals. For example, for one subject, maybe she or he always experiencing very long freezing of gait, or even the freezing tabs is maybe quite common for that subject, but maybe not common for others. So I think it really depends on different people. Yeah.
Okay. So no, not really a cause within the stage of Parkinson's disease or something. Okay. One extra question from Leo. If the autonomous system is involved, would GSR add anything? So galvanic skin response, would that add anything Any?
Actually, in one previous studies about this autonomous nervous systems, the researchers also use a GSR to measure the skin conductance. I think that would be also very interesting to try because the GSR is quite sensitive to the change of your skin conductance. And this would be even better than to measure the heart rate, I think. Yeah, especially for the online detection. Yeah.
Okay. One last question, I think, for now from me is when you monitor the freezing of gait, and you might be able in the end to see it coming, so to know when a freezing of gait episode will happen with a patient. How do you want to interfere? So what's the eventual goal?
Yeah, thanks. I think it's a good point, like the final application, right?
Yeah, so if you can sense, well, now there is a freezing of gait period upcoming, what do you want to do? Do you want to build something that can go against the freezing of gait period, or
yes,
how would you want to do that?
Yeah, actually, it's something here. Because now there are different types of external cues to help subjects overcome freezing of gait. So if we can get freezing of gait, like even detect them earlier, and then this monitoring system will trigger those external cues, and which can help them overcome it. Besides, I think another important application is to just monitoring the freezing of gait itself, because it can really give the doctors a good knowledge about the real situation of the subjects. And this is really would assist the diagnosis, I think.
Okay, yeah, now it's clear to me. Thank you. Let me check. There haven't been any extra questions in the meantime, so thank you then everyone for all your questions. Let me see. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it. We will send you a follow-up email after this webinar with also a link to the recording of this webinar. And I would also like to point out our future webinars. We plan to do a webinar once a month. So the next one is planned for the end of July. The specific date has not been set yet, but it will be a webinar by Professor Stefan Debener from the University of Oldenburg. And it will be about CEEG grids for unobtrusive EEG. So please keep an eye out for the newsletters so you can register for this new webinar. And leaves me nothing but to thank Ying once again for this nice webinar and to wish you all a very nice day. Goodbye.
Bye.